Want help to grow your business? Download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit bryn.ai or search the App Store today.
Welcome to Empire Builders. Today we're going to be talking about how to sell in the new connected economy. And joining me on the show today is Tom Panos, the head of real estate advertising at News Corp, and he's a blogger, a podcaster, and an internet marketer. Good to see you, Tom. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Chris. How you going?
Good. Now, you've got a kind of a proper job and you speak to thousands of people as well, talking about other sales things. Do you want to give the viewers a bit of an overview?
Yeah, so my main role is I work as an executive for News Corp, which is a Rupert Murdoch company, and my role is I look after real estate for News Corp, and that's 100 print products, plus News Corp is a major shareholder of a website called realestate.com.au, and that's where I spend 40 to 50 hours a week. But in addition to that, Chris, I run an auction business on Saturdays. So I do about 10, 11 auctions most Saturdays. I blog. I'm a video blogger. I'm a podcaster. So, I'm pretty excited because as I came here today, the guy that uploads our podcast, he told us it's 2 years we've been going, and as of this moment, it's the #1 on business iTunes. So it's amazing. A podcast I do with John McGrath every week. And probably my most passionate thing I care about is my internet business, which is realestategym.com.au, which is essentially a training platform for real estate agents. And I do speaking on the circuit, sometimes with you, sometimes on my own. Yeah.
You're a busy man, Tom.
I'm busy, but I'm learning from, I've learned from you, and one of the things that you've taught me is to learn to delegate. So I'm fortunate enough to have two people. I've got an executive assistant at News Corp, and I've got my own personal business manager that does a lot of the stuff to do with my podcasting, blogging, training business. So it's probably not as hectic as what it appears on the outside.
Now, one of the great things about all the people you speak to is you get to interview, say just like for me in business and property, you get to interview some of the best sales agents in the country and get to learn what these successful people are doing, that most of them are real estate, but effectively whatever sales they're in, they're highly tuned, they're doing amazing things.
Yeah, and that's, I've got to tell you, one of the beautiful things about wanting to learn off people is running interviews, because when you invite someone from an interview, they're flattered, but also you learn from that interview, and you might not have had that meeting or appointment if you didn't actually, have a business which is video blogging or podcasting. If you're a person that interviews people, like there's some great podcasts. James Altucher in America gets to meet all these high-profile people, Anthony Robbins and Jack Canfield, and he talks about the ability of being able to use interviews to do it. But Chris, you learn a lot from interviewing salespeople, and one of the things I've learned is that different salespeople do different things, and one thing I've learned is this, that what worked 10, 15 years ago in sales does not necessarily work now.
So what are the people doing now that is working that maybe they weren't doing 10 to 15 years ago?
Okay, so I think what salespeople are doing now is they're using a lot of the new platforms out there that help them have touch points with people. So in the past, a salesperson basically would pick up a phone and call, or knock on a door and greet someone. What we work now in this new connection economy is that you've got people that are on your LinkedIn profile, you've got people on Facebook, you've got people on Twitter, you've got people on Instagram, you've got people that are on your email list, and they're critical because they become your community, your tribe of people. You have people that listen to your podcast. So you've got these new technologies that weren't around 10 years ago to have a relationship with an audience. To me, that is probably the most obvious difference when I look at a salesperson in 2015, 2016 and beyond versus a salesperson when you looked at their diary in 1985, you would not have seen people allocating time in their diary to do Facebook updates, LinkedIn profile updates, doing a webinar. So I've got a webinar on Tuesday. A webinar did not appear in my diary 10 years ago.
And is that what the connected economy is? It's effectively all this social media.
It is. In a nutshell, it's an ecosystem of people that are connected, and one person knows another person, knows another person. And why this is so profound is this, that people no longer will call you to find out information. The consumer will ask another consumer. So Chris, if you look at the business TripAdvisor, which is a very good example, where you have one customer tell another customer, this is a great, stay at Versace on the Gold Coast because we were there last week and it was great and the service is excellent, and they go off and they rave about it. So what actually happens is that's more powerful than the Versace taking out an advertisement telling people come to us for these reasons, because in the new world people care about what other people say, not what the company says. So that's what we mean by connected. People are connected.
And another one of your great sayings when I've heard you on stage is, it's not about who you know, it's who knows you.
Yeah, so I coin a term running an attraction business model. And an attraction business model is, instead of you hustling and chasing, so the old sales model, Chris, was go out there and chase people and interrupt them and interrupt strangers who don't want to talk to you. Now look, that was passable 15 years ago, but we live in a world of total disruption. We live in a world where everyone wants everyone's attention. You're getting Facebook notifications, you're getting Twitter notifications, you're watching TV and you see things pop up on the bottom of your screen. You're open up your letterbox and there's 7 things in there. Everyone wants your attention. So the point I'm making is that an attraction business model is that what you want to do is not constantly interrupt people, but become a brand where people know about you. Because I think one of the other things that we're learning about this new connected economy, Chris, is that a lot of people no longer need the salesperson to actually find out information on the product or service. They're already well researched. They go to things like websites. They check things out on portals or on social media. So by the time they speak to the salesperson, they're pretty educated. And another term I love is brand is what people say about you when you're not there. So I think that every person, if you're in business, you've got to take responsibility of becoming, apart from your normal job, you should also be the chief marketing officer of your life. You need to protect your brand.
So what should salespeople be doing in meetings now if they're not necessarily doing the things they were before of giving them information about their product?
They should be asking a lot of questions. They should be looking for a problem. They should be finding a solution to that problem. They should be uncovering a problem that the customer may not even know they have. They should be acting as a trusted advisor and not as a salesperson. They should be getting a lot of trust with the customer, which means that you may not make a sale now and you should accept it. But the fact that you leave that customer thinking, geez, that guy was different, means that they come back to you at a later time. They send other people to you. So I would say Chris, it is so critical that in the new connected economy, in a meeting, that you go in there with a mindset that you're there and an intention to help the person, not to sell the person. Because people can fact check everything that you say on Google. So I think, and the weird thing is, Chris, is people forget what you say, but they never forget the feeling you leave them with. And it's that energy that creates the sale. So I would say, rock up, get connected with the customer, and either solve a problem or give them a benefit. But most important, run a question-based approach in sales. Don't be a robotic salesperson that was brought up in the era of 1980, which is you say this, the person says this. You say this, the person says this.
So if you're still doing things in the classic way, then maybe it is time to change.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit Bryn.ai or search the App Store today.